nonstop bad news, but we finally have some good news. We set a goal of $25,000 raised for the people of India to fight back against the horrific stuff happening in India with COVID. And not only did we meet and exceed $25,000 within an hour and a half, but we're now more than double that at over $56,000 raised, and we still have time left in the hunt. So with that, I'm going to pass to you, but I don't have words, so I'm going to let you guys do your thing.
Thank you, everyone, for rallying your friends and family to support the Indian community that is suffering so horribly right now. I think a lot of us have, started to look past COVID because, life in the U.S. and many other places in the world is starting to open up, and it's so lovely to see you all being so empathetic and thoughtful about the people who are still struggling with this pandemic. And keep it up. Let's try to get to 75. To hit that mark in 6 hours is pretty impressive. So good on you all. But let's turn to brighter topics. Hi, Jewel.
Hello, my friend. How are you? Congrats. Wow. Everybody in this community, incredible work.
It's so nice to see you.
Yeah.
I was just reflecting on the fact that you're, I think, maybe one of my only pandemic friends. I feel like I've gotten to know you over Zoom only. We've never met in person, but I actually think of you as like one of my people. So it's so nice to have you here.
Agreed. I was just thinking before this, I was like, why haven't I touched base with him? How is he doing? What kind of pandemic friend are you?
Good to see you. So I think I want to mention a few things. Like you're working on a book right now about mental health and resilience and the positive benefits of meditation. Is this true? Am I getting this right?
Yes, you heard correctly. I've been working on it quite a while. It's entered a couple different carnations. I'm a big fan of Eckhart Tolle. Do you know him or his work, The Power of Now? He was kind enough to edit the first draft of my book, and
are you kidding?
I know. I was really
my God.
I know. He asked me to do a conference of his a while back, maybe 2 years ago now, and he interviewed me. And when he found out I was doing this book, he's like, I'd offer to edit for you. So of course I was like, if I wasn't writing a book, I would write one just so that I could take advantage of this. And when he got the book, he's like, I think you wrote 5 books. Like, this is too much information and not enough storytelling. So I scrapped the whole book, focused in on one of the areas of it, and rewrote it as a fiction now. It's actually a fable. So I'm just in my final editing phases, but it's been quite a journey and a process getting here.
How cool. What an amazing editor to have.
Pretty fun.
That's so remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Eckhart Tolle like one of the 5 enlightened people on the planet by many measures? That's really amazing.
Yeah, it was neat when he interviewed me for his talk down there in SoCal. My dad flew down. My dad's 73, and I've sung for the Pope. I've done amazing things in my life. My dad's proud of me always, but he never got on a red eye except for anyone but Eckhart.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Congratulations.
Aw, thanks.
That's really well, I can't wait to read it. I just yesterday submitted the final draft of my book of poetry to my publisher, and also during the pandemic year, I read your book of poetry, and I read it and I was like, oh shit, Jules' poems are much better than mine. I need to up my game. So thank you for that inspiration.
Wow, I had no idea you were writing poetry. That's so cool. I think poetry is so important for people. When my publisher, I published that book when I was a kid in the mid-90s maybe, and the publisher was like, we want an autobiography, and I was like, I'm 22. And they're like, well,
yeah, same exact conversation with my publisher. It was like, how about a memoir? And I was like, I'm 46. I can't do that.
I know.
I haven't lived enough.
Exactly. So I told them I wanted to do a book of poetry, and they were like, dear God, no. And so it ended up being this thing of I'd write a memoir type book if I got to publish a book of poetry first, and ended up doing really well. I think people need poetry. It's like the snake skin of the soul. It's how we relate to one another.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very spiritual without an organized religion.
I had my phone sitting next to me and this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
On the table here.
That's neat. So you guys how's life? How's it going? Are you working as much even though it's not on the show? What's life like?
I'm trying to, I guess so. Yeah, I think I'm working quite a bit. But it's more incubation work, getting things off the ground in development. I think I have a TV series that will be coming into production shortly.
As a producer, or are you be acting in it?
As a producer and host. It's kind of like an Anthony Bourdain style travel food show, but really just using food as an entree into communities and frankly, political perspectives that we wouldn't otherwise be exposed to.
I like that. Yeah, I think our communities have lost a lot of the ability to hold space and just see how other people live. We always want to change it and cancel it and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So basically, it's a show about listening, if it works out. Yeah. How about you?
Sounds good.
What are you working on other than your book?
I don't know if anybody watching feels this way, but I really enjoyed the COVID lifestyle. I feel like I was training for it my entire life. I am kind of antisocial by nature. I like being home. And I'm a single mom. So I have, my little 10-year-old here at the house, and traveling as a musician is kind of this requirement. So being able to do everything via Zoom like this isn't something I think I would have gotten to do before. I've gotten to do so many things because people now accept this as, acceptable, that I've really liked it. I've been very productive. I have the room I'm in right now is a studio. I have my recording studio here. And so just making records and writing books and getting to be a mom. And, my passion is mental health and helping people with anxiety. And during the pandemic, I think people have really realized our vulnerability to everybody has mental health. And none of us, for some reason, were taught what to do with it. We were taught how to brush our teeth, but not how to curate our thoughts. And I would argue the latter is maybe more important. I don't know. You're talking to a girl with crooked teeth, so maybe don't take my advice.
I also have a lot of cavities.
I don't. That's gross.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it interesting the things we choose to teach in school as a society?
Yeah.
Is trigonometry really as important as, being present?
If I invented trigonometry, I would be so proud of myself. I would want it institutionalized. I would have erected a statue in my name and probably pronounced myself a god. But as somebody who didn't invent trigonometry, I was very frustrated that I wasn't taught how to rewire my training. I knew at 15 that I was programmed to be a certain way. It was like I had a genetic inheritance, but I also had an emotional inheritance. My whole family was systemically abusive for generations. I mean, the odds of my future turning out differently were non-existent. And so at 15 to move out and go, how do you not become what you're trained to do? And there's no school, there's no human school. I was raised speaking bad emotional English. Where do I go to learn good emotional French or whatever? And that's too bad. That's definitely why I've set up my companies how I have and the wellness experience, because we have to be able to democratize and create a learning system about being human that somewhere we lost. I don't know, maybe between the village and the city, we lost what to do with pain. But we all experience it. There are ways of dealing with it.
Yeah. I think you and I have some congruities there. We both had challenging childhoods and homelessness at times, and both found our way to meditation as a not just palliative, but healing, soothing balm that I think, I know for myself has been such an incredibly important resource in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny growing up in the 90s, or coming of age in the 90s, I guess. With my music, it was always I was really criticized for being optimistic. because cynicism was like king then. And I remember thinking, you only get to be cynical if you have a backup plan. Like, there's no true cynic alive. They all kill themselves. And so the only really gritty thing to do is say, now what? You know, because being hopeless isn't an option. It's a dead end road. So I always found that more gritty, you know, people that would turn to, all right, what do I do with this? It's a path of strength. And it is funny that for a long time in society, it was looked at as a path of weakness, or I don't know. I'm glad science is starting to back up, you know, what meditation can do and those things.
Sure is. Well, Jewel, would you be willing to play us some music?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any songs you're wanting in particular? Was I teaching anyone to yodel? What are we into today?
Charlie, is there a prescription here? We can't hear you, but we can see you and your beard.
Yeah, there's no challenge or any prescription. It's sort of just feeling into it and having fun. People have been dancing today in a silent disco. People have been making art all day. So whatever you want to bless us with, we're here to have.
Awesome. Well, sounds good. I don't know what I feel like. I got my nails did, so I have fresh nails on my guitar. I feel pretty happy. You know, as a single middle-aged mother, this is like a big deal. Feeling pretty fly right now. You're going to hear it in my voice. I'll sing a song about a single mom. I just wrote this, so I might forget it. I wrote this 2 weeks ago. Faucet's leaking and the baby won't stop crying. The sinking feeling is the highest that you got. Why? You think of that man and his delicious afterglow. Put it out of your mind, 'cause that belonged to another time, though. Emotional limbo, how low can you go? You pick up the baby 'cause someone just gotta, you know you just gotta, you know you just gotta get on with the show. You got to carry on, carry on. You're a single, you're a single, you're a single mom. You put on some lipstick and you button up your shirt. You left that man 'cause he treated you like dirt. You got no alimony and half your check goes to daycare. The other half don't pay rent and landlords don't take almost there. You write your daughter a love note, put it in a lunchbox. Say you won't be home after school. And remember not to answer when someone knocks. So hard to carry on, carry on. 'Cause you're a single, you're a single, you're a single mind. Sweet wee oh, sweet wee ba-ba-da. Sweet wee oh, sweet wee, sweet whip. Dip-dip-dip-dip. Dip-dip-dip-dip whip and Sally's drinking wine by 5 just to stay alive. And Eloise is smoking weed just to keep from crying. The pressure's mounting, there's not enough hours in the day. And why the hell are women still fighting for equal pay? You turn on the news, president says single parents are the backbone of this country. You don't need no compliment, just a job that pays more money. Till then, carry on, carry on. 'Cause you're a single, yeah. Carry on, you carry on, 'cause you're a single Thank you. Brand new song called Single Mom. It's impressive sign language. It's incredible. It's like, I don't know how you do that with my phrasing. Very, very, very good.
That's beautiful. And what a great pandemic song as well.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm a huge fan of Ricky Lee Jones, and that song, for some reason, just reminds me a ton of her. It's amazing how your influences come out. Do you find that as an artist? Like, I'll read something as an, I don't know, my harmonies on this new record are inspired by a band, a folk band called Sweet Honey and the Rock. I haven't listened to them since I was like 12. It was so weird. And it's not like I was thinking of them. It just, that's how the harmonies were layering. And it's almost like this weird slot machine of creativity. Like something goes in and 30 years later it pops out.
There's a Rainier Maria Rilke quote that I love, which is, everything is gestation and birth.
It's true.
I so love that, and I reflect on it often, because I think there are so many times when you just let something sit in you and it comes out at the right time. And it could be next month, and it could be 15 years from now. But if you're just letting it germinate in you, that potential is there.
It's true. For each thing a season. And that art of letting it ripen and not pushing it, and also not delaying it. There's a great Cherokee proverb that says, what you don't give birth to will kill you. And it kind of goes hand in hand with that Rilke quote. Because if you don't then give, something you've learned, let's say wisdom is really that way. Like, say you know better, Once you know better, if you don't actuate on that, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Should I do another song?
Yes.
Any requests? I can't see the participants.
It's posted that in the chat, but I don't know if people are seeing that. How do we see, Charlie, help? How do we see people's requests?
I'm open to taking requests if we can get our pause on.
We can tell people in the Q&A to send your requests. I'll see you have 10 minutes left in the game, so just make sure you get in there and upload your stuff. But if you have any requests, please.
I'm seeing Jennifer asking for pieces of me.
Really? The song Pieces of... That's a rough song. Okay. Can you stand behind this song, Misha? I mean, I think you can, but I may not know it. Thinking.
A lot of requests for hands as well.
Really? That's a much safer thing, which of course you're bored by.
Let's do pieces of
Pieces of You will offend a lot of people, though. I just want to
Okay.
Well, it shouldn't. Like, if you're listening, it's a song about tolerance, but you know what? I'm going to sing the modern Pieces of You, which should offend just as many people, so don't worry.
Okay, great.
I'll still offend you.
Okay, thank you.
So Pieces of You was written when this girl was really mean to me, and I sat down and I was writing something very hateful to her, and then it made me think about language and how we use language, especially privately. And I grew up in bar rooms, and I grew up with people saying a lot of awful things, racist, homophobic, misogynistic, and when you're drunk, especially, people... It's almost like you see behind closed doors. You see into their psyche. They feel comfortable. And so I'd be a little girl walking around. And that's what inspired the song Pieces of You. And I was recently re-inspired in a similar way because I was in a bar room, not singing, but just eavesdropping as I do. And I heard this guy call his friend a pussy. And I was like, how weird that we use female anatomy to denote weakness. Like, what a weird message for girls. And it got me off on a tangent. So this is about language, and I might really offend people. And if you want to turn me off at any time, make sure you can, or wave your hands. This is also an unpublished song that's never been out.
Is it? Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll remember it, but it'll make you giggle, the parts I remember. Let's try. My pussy ain't weak, can you handle that? So stop calling him a pussy like that. I don't need young girls to think that even our sex organs are weak. So stop saying pussy. While I'm at it, stop saying faggot. It really is time, I really have had it. It takes courage to be alive and be who you are without apologizing. So stop saying faggot. And I hear you ladies trash talking men, saying how you hate sexism. Well, I got a boy, he don't need to hear that. He thinks that all men are creepy and bad. So let's stop generalizing. And all those hipsters in your cafe saying, why's everybody picking on me? We talk about love and liberty, then say, fuck that redneck from Tennessee. Well, stop hating rednecks, yeah. 'Cause that's just the trouble, don't you see? That's just the trouble, hypocrisy. I hate you and you hate me. It's a circle jerk of bigotry. We're all so stuck on our individuality that we forgot our commonality. Black men don't eat babies and drag queens don't bite, and Muslims just want someone to love at night. We all love our children, so let's show them why we must start hating hate. You're never gonna invite me back. I'm sorry.
That was the best form of offensiveness I've ever seen. Well done.
I tried not to leave anyone out. I tried to offend everybody. So
Nailed it. That's so lovely.